Well, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. It's the Raw and Unscripted Show with yours truly, Christopher Rausch, the place where I help you overcome your self-created crap without the self-help fluffy bullshit. And if you guys are watching the video cast, that was the wrong intro. How about that for being raw and unscripted? That was actually the intro for my old show, The Unfiltered Experience, which, by the way, you can still listen to and watch on reruns that I did with Scott Goyette for many, many years during COVID. It's a fantastic, fantastic show. But Scott and I hosted it and had tremendous guests on there talking about the yin and yang of spiritual life and raw and unscripted life. And it was a beautiful combination. And every once in a while we talk about doing a special show. So go check it out, The Unfiltered Experience. But tonight I come to you with a heavy heart. Today is, for the record, Tuesday, April 7th, 2026. And I'm an American citizen living in the United States of America. And I will tell you this, you guys are listening to the podcast. It's 363 episodes now, been going for 7 years. The show is all about positive mindset, how to unfuck yourself, how to look at your past, present, and future differently, how to change the way you talk to yourself, how to eliminate excuses and get results. I don't talk about politics very much. I talk about life, and I talk about humanity, and I talk about the fact that we are all more the same than we are different. No matter what sexual orientation you are, religion you are, culture you are, where you're from, any label, we're all humanity. You split us down the middle, we're all the same. People can donate hearts and livers and blood. And, you know, we are more the same than we are different. I've been all over the world and I've talked to many, many people from different cultures and different lifestyles. And I find that there's so many commonalities. Yet, what do? We look at the differences. And tonight, like I said, I have a heavy heart. If you have been living under a rock, the President of the United States put out a tweet this morning, and I'm going to read it to you just in case you haven't heard it or haven't seen it. And I normally do not do this. I don't get into politics. I don't choose sides. I'm about the side of humanity. I'm about the side of equality. I'm about the side of making things better. Making things better. But when I saw this, I was horrified. And it says a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. Just let those first two sentences sink in. However, now that we have a complete and total regime change where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionarily wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. The President of the United States, ladies and gentlemen, of the free world, the place where everybody wants to risk their life to come to and start anew and have freedom and have choice and have democracy, just threatened to annihilate an entire civilization. The other part, I'm not going to read into, but wow. I have a 9-year-old son, and I pray to God, I'm not a religious person, I pray to God every single day that this world will be a place where he can contribute and he can grow and he can make a better place and he can use his gifts and all the other kids that are kids right now who have grown up through COVID and all these different things, that they can make an impact and that we can leave us adults can leave this world behind a better place. And everybody should be doing that wherever you go, leaving it a better place. Pick up a piece of trash, make somebody smile, hold the door open for somebody, buy somebody a meal. You know what I mean? Paying it forward. I just did a TikTok video and I started to cry at 2 different points because I love humanity. And again, I don't get into politics. You choose who you choose, have a healthy debate about it. Just don't be an asshole about it. I just cut off 2 people that I've been connected with for a while because one of them used the word retarded about if you went to the rally for no kings. I don't necessarily agree with the no kings thing, but I believe in standing up for your right. Whatever you do, that's the freedom we have here in America. Said anybody who did that, it was retarded. And I just decided, you know what, I'm done. I'm done allowing my light into that person's life. There's no reason for that. There's no reason for being an asshole. There's no reason for saying all Democrats or all Republicans or all these people or all those people. Again, you get a bunch of us in a fucking room and you ask somebody, do you have a dog? What's your favorite band? Have you ever heard the Beatles? That's what I love. Tonight, I'm actually going to see the Bruce Springsteen concert. I've never seen Bruce in my life. I dig some of his music, but if you know what's been going on, he's on this America tour and this freedom tour. Not like a Kid Rock thing or separating other people. It's about love. And personally, I'm excited. I'm excited to be in a room full of 20,000 people who really love one another and want to see this country greater and better. And I'm excited to sing the songs that I know. And I'm excited to look around at all the different cultures and all the different experiences that everybody has. And I'm sure there's lots of things we can disagree on, but I believe that all of us, and those of you watching and those of you who are listening, that we have an opportunity every single day that we wake up to make this world a better place, to be a part of the solution, not part of the problem. And it hurts my heart, because I know people are hurting right now. I've looked on social media. People are hurting. People are scared that if he drops a nuke, what's going to happen? I told my wife, I'm tired of worrying. We're going to go to my son's science and engineering presentation tonight. He's 9 years old. He's in the 3rd grade. We're going to go to that. And then we're going to drive to Los Angeles and we're going to have some dinner and we're going to go fucking see a concert. And you know what? In the grand scheme of things, all we get is this moment. And I want to tell you, thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. It means the world to me. I grew up in a really fucked up situation. And I am so grateful that I can use my voice and my experiences and my knowledge and everything to come here every single week and share with you and have people from all over the world. We're in 98 plus countries last time I checked. United States, China, Canada, Great Britain, I think Brazil. Like those are the top 5 countries that listen to this podcast. So thank you from the bottom of my fucking heart. And please know, like, I know some people, oh, the United States is terrible. Like, no, we're not. There's a lot of fucking people here who love everybody. And I see people do good things all the time. But so often we focus on our differences and we cut people out because, oh, those are those people. And right? I encourage you to stop talking and start listening. I've learned in my life, when you seek first to understand, then to be understood, and you ask questions. So what led you to that decision? What led you to that belief? You learn a lot about a motherfucker. You learn a lot about yourself when you sit there and think, ooh, I was about to judge that person. Ooh, I was thinking a comment that I probably wouldn't say out loud. And you stop and catch yourself and like, where did that come from? Where did that come from? It's about healing. It's about love. It's not about fear. And like I was saying, we get these moments. And fuck, if being able to breathe on your own and experience love and give love and see the sunshine, feel the wind, smell the roses, tuck your kid in at night, listen to some music, watch a movie, whatever it is for you. Like, be grateful. Be grateful. Go to your neighbors, look out for your brothers and sisters and say, hey, how can I help? I know you might be hurting. I know gas prices and food prices and everything. What can I do? I was just thinking last night, we should put a food, like a anonymous food box just here in our local community. I've been reaching out to my local city councilman and asking, what can I do to help? So maybe I can do that. We could set up a thing where if people here in just the local area need food, we could put that in there. Maybe if there's a natural disaster, we have some food stocked up and people can go to it. We can all do something small. And if we all do something small, it's like a picture. When you look at a picture under a microscope, it's tiny little dots. It's tiny little dots. And when you pull it out, it creates this massive picture. And I didn't intend on talking about this tonight. Actually, tonight I'm going to be talking about the 10 areas of life that we run from that often will sneak up on you and bite you in the ass, because I've seen that happen a lot in recent weeks with my friends, with health issues, with legal issues, with financial issues, things I never thought that would happen, relationship issues. So tonight's episode, once I'm done sharing this from my heart, is about the stuff that can really disrupt your life. But I felt it necessary. I just did a TikTok video. And again, I nearly cried twice because I'm so passionate about this. I have no idea what's going to happen. And I pray for everybody. I pray for the Israelis. I pray for the Palestinians. I pray for the French and the German and the Chinese and the Korean and I pray for everybody. Because again, I've been to many, many parts of the world and I've never experienced anything terrible. I've experienced love. We went to Italy a couple years ago and man, we had people from all over the world. It was right after COVID ended. And the one big thing they were asking is about how did you elect your president? And I'm like, we have a democracy and that's what happened. If you look at it closer, I'm guessing that fucking Elon did something and stole the election, but I don't want to get into all that shit. It is what it is. We're here today. And I read you that tweet. I read you that quote. It's unconscionable that somebody with that responsibility can do something like that. And I found out last night by educating myself and watching a podcast that he alone can set off a nuclear bomb. He doesn't need Congress's approval, doesn't need the Joint Chiefs of Staff, doesn't need anybody's approval. Apparently, this guy walks around with him all day long carrying a briefcase with codes in it. Enjoy your fucking moments, guys. Like at the end of the day, we have problems and we have challenges. But I encourage you to dig deep and to find the ability and the vision every single day to wake up and say, what can I do a little bit more of? How can I be a little bit better? How can I be a little bit kinder? Can I let the fucking guy out of the gas station parking lot that's trying to get in? Or is the 30 seconds that I'm going to get ahead of him really going to make a fucking big difference? Because I'm probably going to a place I don't want to go. I see it all the time. Like, let the fucking person in. I tell my wife, let the fucking person in. Let the person changing lanes. I've seen their fucking directional on for 10 minutes or fucking 3 minutes or whatever it might be. Just let him in. Let him in and give him a wave. That person may be on their third job. They may be driving Uber, delivering groceries and working a part-time job and doing all this stuff just to try to get by. And trust me, I've done shows on artificial intelligence. I just posted a couple of things. I encourage you to watch Chris Williamson, the Modern Wisdom podcast, and the Diary of CEO, Stephen Bartlett podcast. It's the only two I trust anymore. I don't trust Ed Milet. I don't trust any of those motherfuckers. Tom Bilyeu, none of them. Tony Robbins, none of them. I trust those two. And I've learned because they ask really great questions. Artificial intelligence. You want to talk about humanity? If we don't fucking get nuclear blasted, AI's coming, and we need everybody in every country to stand up and say, no, we're not going to allow this. We're not going to allow massive data centers the size of Manhattan to take over and consume our drinking water and our power. The power grids are so fucking old anyway. How are they're going to do this and they're going to do that? And they don't give a fuck about the environment. Again, I look at my 9-year-old son and I think, Jesus Christ, you used to think, oh, you had a lifetime. But what is the world going to be like in 3 years, 5 years, 6 months? Tomorrow? What is it going to be like for him? And regrets suck horribly. Regrets are horrible. Oh, I wish I could. I would have. Wish I didn't do that. I wish I would have listened. I wish I would have done things differently. I got people now telling me, man, I wish I wouldn't have voted for him. It is what it is. You know what we can do? We can impeach him. You know what we can do is we can go to our councilman and let them know how we feel. You know what? We got midterms coming up. We can sit there and say, let me take a fucking beat. Let me take a couple of hours. Let me take a fucking half a day and look who's running in my area, the people I'm going to be voting for. Who's on the school board? What does that motherfucker do? Who is he backed by? Where has he worked? Where has she worked? And go to the town hall meetings and ask the questions. Here in Riverside, we got more houses and apartment buildings going up. It's fucking, I love Riverside because it's a country type community. But I just saw like another 300 apartments are going up. The traffic here is already ridiculous. I moved out here from Orange County to get away from it all. But there's another thing going in. Oh, we're low on housing. We're low on housing. How can we be low on housing when there's more homeless than ever? With AI coming in and displacing millions and millions and millions of jobs, what's going to happen? How do we need all this space? Can we tell our elected officials, hey, with the abandoned malls, can we do this? Can we focus on mental health? Can you, listening to this, watching this, can you Become an active mental health advocate in your own fucking community. You live in a trailer park. What can you do? Can you look around the trailer park? Hey, is there any psychiatrists here? Is there any family therapists that are retired? Can we get a group meeting once a week and talk about our depression? My mother-in-law lives in a senior care facility. And she says, you know what's really sad, Chris? And she goes, I don't know if my friends are going to be here tomorrow. I'm like, how about we talk about that? So you guys ever talk about that? No. And people live in that silent pain and that stress. I pray for you and I pray for us. And again, I'm not a religious person. I don't pray to any particular God. I believe in the golden rule: do unto others that you would have done to you. And that we can all be a part of the solution rather than part of the problem. And you lead with love and not fear. And you cherish the moments, and you wake up in the morning like, fuck, I'm grateful for my bed. I'm grateful for the electricity. I'm grateful for the fan. I'm grateful for my spouse laying next to me. I'm grateful for my son in the room next to me. I'm grateful I get to use technology and reach millions of people every single day. That's what I say. One of my intentions every single day is I'm going to use my words and my actions to make this world a better place. And I'm going to enjoy my moments. And this morning, before I even saw that tweet, I said, you know what, Chris, make it extra special today. Like, really be present, really be in that moment with your son. I saw somebody did a TikTok last night, and they said if they could go back to their child's childhood, that they would just lay in bed with them and stare at them, because now they're teenagers or now they're in their 20s. You know, you think about it. We take it for granted. Oh, there's tomorrow, there's tomorrow, there's tomorrow. There never is. I just had my friend Raquel. I had a Zoom call with her 2-3 weeks ago. Hadn't talked to her in a while, did Facebook messages and stuff like that. So let's jump on a Zoom. Jumped on a Zoom, had a great conversation. That was like a Thursday. Next Tuesday, I look at my Instagram and she's in the hospital, and she got diagnosed with a lemon-sized brain tumor because she woke up and her left arm was numb. And I thought, oh my God, heart attack. And I texted her and I said, hey, how are you? What's going on? And she sent me a message of a picture of her in the back of a fucking ambulance. She's a mother of 3 kids. She's had an incredible life. She's been here on the Raw and Unscripted show. Check her out, Rachel McDermott. Raquel, fucking hell. My friend keeps calling her Rachel. Raquel McDermott. She was on one of the earlier shows. Phenomenal conversation. Phenomenal person. One day, boom, you have a lemon-sized tumor in your brain. They got it out, thankfully. And now she's having seizures. She can barely walk to the end of her driveway with a walker. She's having to go to do GoFundMes. She's still responsible for her kids, and she feels terrible. She's like, oh my God. And I said, what have you learned? She goes, oh my God, Chris, so much. I invited her when she's feeling better to come back on the show and talk about that. I see it every single day, guys. I see it every single day. So please, if you hear this and you agree with this, just for this part, just please share this out to somebody who might be hurting. Because people need to, I just did a TikTok the other day and it says, you're a rock star and I love you and I think you're awesome. And I really thought it was kind of lame, but because I don't know you, but I do send love. And so many people, it's probably one of the more popular TikTok posts that I did. And people were like, thank you. I needed to hear that. One person I just saw a comment today, I did it last week, just said, I wish I felt that way. And so I commented, hey, you know what? Irregardless of what you've been through, irregardless of what you've done, today's the day. Like, go get mental health therapy. Go talk to somebody. Decide today that you're going to be a rock star. What can I do today to be a little bit different? Can I journal today? What can I do? Can I go buy somebody a meal? Can I talk to a friend? I asked my friend yesterday, can I talk to him? Because even I had a moment yesterday at the gym thinking about all this shit where I felt like I was going to burst into tears. I never do that. Never. But my head was going down a rabbit hole. I was on the fucking bench press machine. And I said, I got to talk to somebody. So if you ever need somebody, I am here for you. No matter what fucking country you're in, no matter what language you speak, I am here for you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's not about anything other than loving humanity and helping you and then saying, hey, can you help somebody else? And then we pay it forward. Then all of a sudden, you never know, the fucking world's a different place. Can you do that for me? Okay. Thank you. All right. Now let's talk about something else. Like I said, Raquel has had that happen. I've had people with all sorts of things come up and they tell me the thing I heard the most was, I didn't expect that to happen, or I never thought that could happen. So let's talk about these things. Number one, income disruption, job loss, injury or illness, business downturn. I know people in the trucking industry here in the United States. Gas prices are astronomical, obviously, from what's going on. People aren't becoming truck drivers, so now they don't have truck drivers. Got Amazon taking over, so there's all sorts of things. AI is coming. I know people in customer service. You're going to see an entire country, the Philippines and India. What are they going to do when they don't have the customer service and the phone text that they can do, that it's replaced by artificial intelligence? Income disruption. Most of us, and I'm in that group a little bit too, most of us can't survive 3 or 4 months. So what do you do? What are your options? Like, okay, what can I sell? What can I do? Who could we live with? Who could we have live with us? So we're having those conversations here in our own home. Like, we could have my mother-in-law move back here from the senior facility. Like, if we had to, we could rent out our trailer to people who could live in it. It's a nice trailer. It sits in our driveway. Would we have to do things differently? Sure, absolutely. We don't have fucking sewer hookups. So yeah, you figure it out. But my thing is, and I was just telling this to my coaching clients last night, that when you have plans in place, like I have umbrella insurance for $1 million. So I know that if something happens at my rental property or this property, I have things in place. I have food and I have a generator in case, and when we have the big earthquake here in the United States, or here in Southern California. So look at ways you can have a 3 to 6 month emergency plan, emergency fund. Like, oh yeah, it's hard to save. It's hard to save. Can you put a little bit away? Can you sit there and decide, you know what? I don't need 17 subscriptions to Netflix and to Hulu and all that stuff. I don't need Pandora and Spotify and Apple Music. I don't need Can we buy simpler food? Can we eat? What would happen if we had a catastrophe? What would we eat? Can we say, okay, 4 nights a week, we're going to eat beans, rice, and chicken. And then, the other 3 nights, we're going to have a variety. Disability insurance. Like, if something happens to you, look at disability insurance. This is a big one, multiple streams of income. Like, my wife makes bread. She makes it and she gives it away. I said, okay, well, let's start looking at the opportunity. If anything happens, if you lost your job, something happened, how can we start selling bread? How can we market it? What would we do? How would we differentiate? Number 2, a medical crisis, just like I talked about with Raquel, the sudden diagnosis, cancer, heart attack, stroke. I've heard it. So all these different things. Amputation, diabetes, so many things. Somebody has to have surgery, the long recovery. Okay, what do you do? Okay, we got to file for disability insurance. Okay, we got to cut our expenses. Multiple streams of income. What can we do? Can we do Uber? Can our 17-year-old kid fucking get off their ass and do something, get a job? A mental health breakdown from that, or somebody just snaps. A lot of people are snapping. Like, okay, look, what can we do? If you know that Joe isn't doing so well, go take Joe out. If you can pay for some therapy sessions or a coaching session or whatever it might be, can you do it? Right? Health insurance, like find out what's covered. Have medical directives. I realized the other day, I do not have an advanced care directive, whatever it might be. I thought it was something you just signed before you had a thing, but it's actually a legal document that you have to have notarized, at least here in the United States. I don't have that. So I need to do that. I don't have a living trust or a will. I need to do that. Me personally, pointing the finger at myself. Like, who makes the decisions for you when you can't speak for yourself? Have you had that conversation? I know that I'm 57 years old now, and I keep thinking I need to do like an end of life thing. Like, what do I want to happen to my car? How do I want to be buried? What things do I have that are worth value? Like having those questions answered and leaving something for your family to deal with, because I've seen so many times somebody dies and they're like, I don't even know what their fucking checking account password is. I don't know what insurance or what, life insurance policies they have. You just don't think it's going to happen. Oh, we're going to have that conversation one day. If you're within the sound of my voice or watching me or whatever it might be, consider it now. Now shit happens all the fucking time. I'm going to the Los Angeles Forum tonight, the Kia Forum. It dawned on me, and I said it out loud to my wife. I'm like, we're both going to be gone in that place. What if there's a terrorist attack? What if there's a fucking nuclear bomb? My son and my mother-in-law are going to be here 50 miles away. I fucking thought about that. Like, what if somebody bombs it? Oh, everybody's at the Bruce Springsteen concert. All the people that don't agree with his message. Here's the third one: death of a spouse, death of a parent. What happens if you die? Often so many times they say, oh, I'm so sorry you died. Da, 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 da. It's the family that has to deal with it. I have a friend kind of on Facebook, and he died last year. He didn't get cancer treatment. He thought he was going to cure it naturally. And his wife just posted, and they have a now 9-year-old daughter, I think. I'm pretty sure. It's been a year, and they're still dealing with the emotional fallout of that. So again, make sure your beneficiaries are updated. Your life insurance is updated. For fuck's sake, have a fireproof safe in your house. When I talk to people about preparedness, I said, you have a fireproof safe in your house. And it's not a fucking big safe in your wall. It's a little handheld carry thing. You have your passport in it, copies of your identification, copies of your credit card, marriage certificates, whatever it might be. Put that shit in there. If you fucking have a fire, if you have too many air renews it, whatever fucking thing, Glade plugins, those could catch on fire. Do you have too many extension cords plugged in? It happens. My neighbor has 2 containers in his front yard because his son fucking put too much toilet paper in the shitter. And they hurry up and fucking wiped his ass with too much toilet paper, plugged up the toilet. They were gone for a few hours, came home. Why is it raining in here? Everything was great. Had Allstate insurance, all fucking figured out. This generally does that, but you got to look at it and you got to fight for your rights. Allstate, after like 8 months of paying the contractors and stuff like that, came back and said and found a discrepancy in the policy saying, oh, well, now we're not going to cover it and you need to pay all that back. I'll sue you. Yeah, go ahead. We're Allstate. Go ahead. Fucking pay an attorney $700 an hour. Go ahead. That'll take months and months and months. So they decided out of the goodness of their heart to give him a $15,000 settlement when he still had thousands upon thousands to do and to deal with. Those containers have been out in the front of his house for a couple of years. They moved slowly back into peace. They had to get hotel rooms. It disrupted their entire life. So like, take a look around your house. Is there any hazards? Are your smoke detector batteries updated? Do you have carbon monoxide detectors? Things of that nature. How are we doing on time? We're doing good. Relationship breakdown. Seeing this. Divorce, separation, sudden betrayal. My buddy is going through a divorce. Wife said, I'm done. Had to sell everything. Start over in his 50s. Sudden betrayal. How do you deal with that? What's going on? Making sure that your home is cleaned up. You're sitting there looking at everybody. Oh, those fucking people. Are you having conversations with your spouse? I used to tell my friend who went through a divorce that was very, very costly. He was into cars and he used to play with his car all the time. And I said, which chrome are you shining most? Are you shining the chrome on your car or the fucking chrome on your wife? Cost him a ton of money. Right? So you think about that. Individual financial awareness. My husband made all the money. I don't even know what to do anymore. Like, shit happens. People die. Relationships break up. What can you do? How can you survive? I know people that stay in relationships because they have nowhere to go. I wouldn't know what to do. And I understand that. I've seen that firsthand. And they're really at a problematic place. I'm like, you're going to have to suck it up and make it work. Or you're going to have to suck it up and go rent a room. And I've seen people do that too. Humble pie, going from a 5-bedroom, 10-bedroom house to renting a room, living with a friend in their spare room. Right? What are you doing? What are you avoiding? And some of you are avoiding a lot. I can't deal with it. I can't do that. I wouldn't be able to talk about death with my spouse. Oh my God. I had a conversation with somebody the other day and I said, here's the truth. Unless you and your husband die at the same time, one of you is going to the other person's funeral. I did that to my friend years and years ago. I said, gotcha. I'm going to tell you something that'll wake you the fuck up. I said, I'm going to go to your funeral or you're going to mine. He said, I'm not going to go to your funeral. That's ridiculous. Blah, blah, blah. Don't talk like that. I'm like, I've been to your grandfather's funeral. I've been to your dad's funeral. I was at another funeral. I can't remember which one it was. And I said, that's the truth. If we're still friends, which I'm sure we will be, I'm going to go to your funeral or you're going to mine. Sometimes you need to put things in that perspective. Like, look around your house. My son one day is going to go to my funeral. I tell him all the time, not all the time, but I'm like, if anything happens to me, and I don't want to scare him, but I said, everything ever happens to me, there are over 1,000 videos on my YouTube channel. I said, I've done 363 podcast episodes as of today. It's 363 hours of me talking and sharing. One of the reasons why I still do this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, is leaving that legacy. I take tons and tons of pictures. I'm always thinking about creating moments. Number 5, the unexpected expense. Your car dies, home repair, flooding, roofing, air conditioning, legal issues. This is where the debt trap begins. Medical expenses. Jesus Christ, you think, oh, I've got insurance. I should be covered. Oh, yeah, I know I have a high deductible. I can't tell you how many times I've contributed to people's funds because cancer has wiped out their savings, 401ks, taking second mortgages on their house. right? And maybe you think there's nothing you could do, but if you have the capacity, maybe you don't need to work 2 jobs, or maybe you don't need to have a side hustle right now, but how great would it be to invest that right now and create that fund? And so they're saying, okay, man, we've got $20,000 saved up. We got $5,000 saved up. We got $2,000 saved up in case the fucking car engine breaks. I've seen people do that. The car only had 35,000 miles on it. It threw a rod. It is what it is. You're where you're at. And I understand, trust me, I've been broke most of my life. So this is what happens. Like, again, emergency fund. Know who you can borrow from. Know what you can sell. I have a second house. I have a 69 Charger. I have a street legal dune buggy. I have guitars. I have music. I have a few things. I have old baseball cards and old football cards. I know it might be something. Look at your deductibles. Look at what's covered. Like, I know here in Southern California, a major earthquake, a 7.9 or greater, I think it is going to happen. We're 300 years overdue. I don't have earthquake insurance. I decided not to get it. I looked at it. I decided not to get it because most of my friends who are in the insurance industry said, with the amount of people that have it, there won't be enough money anyway. You have house insurance. Yeah. And I said, okay, scary. But if that thing ever happens in my lifetime, guess what? We'll deal with it. Number 6, natural disaster, external crisis. Funny, I'm talking about earthquakes. I know people in the Carolinas last year, year before, the hurricanes came through. Oh yeah, hurricanes don't come through there. Those are further south. Yeah, guess what? Whole entire communities wiped out. Power outages. One of my biggest fears is the electrical grid. I've said that before. How many electrical cars do we have? And in your area, have they upgraded the electrical system? We have solar. We don't have a battery backup, but we have solar. The next step is getting the battery backup. I have a generator now. I've never started it, but I have a generator. I have the gas. I have it labeled with the date on it. I need to make sure I cycle it through, but I know. I have earthquake kits. I have the MREs, the military replacement meals, whatever the fuck they're called. And again, I wrote down here important documents backed up. We have a fireproof safe. I have Dropbox. I have things photocopied in Dropbox. So if the house burned down, I can still access what my fucking credit card number was. I can still access a copy of my driver's license. Have evacuation plan. With the tweet that I shared earlier, I don't even know how to fucking prepare for that. My wife and I just talked about it, and she goes, if the nuclear bomb hits, I'm walking into the cloud. She goes, I don't want to be left with the nuclear winter and the fallout of it. Okay, we know where you stand. Here's another big thing that people are dealing with: caregiving responsibility. Aging parents. I have a coaching client. She's dealing with her mother in a care facility. My mother-in-law, is in a senior care facility. Fortunately, she's 84 years old and still fucking rocking and rolling. But there's going to come a point sooner than later where she's either going to need advanced medical care, she's going to need to move back in here, or she's going to pass away. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm 57 years old. Longevity is not a big thing in my house, in my family lineage. There's nobody alive aside from my sister, who I don't speak to anymore, who's alive. So caregiving responsibility, right? I joke around like, oh yeah, you're going to take care of me. You're going to take care of me. But my wife is 46, going to be 47, tends to be a little bit stressed out. And I tell her all the time, I'm like, your dad died of a burst heart at 57. Please don't be that person. And God has a fucking sense of humor. And I'm like, you're the one that's going to live on. You're the one that's 10 years younger than me. You're the one that needs to be here for Jackson. But I've seen it so many times. My buddy Ted, his wife died of cancer, pretty young, in her 40s. He was left behind with 5 kids. That story is not uncommon. You think, oh, that person was supposed to live longer than me. Talk about it, guys. That's what this show is about. It's about personal growth, but it's also about responsibility and accountability. And to think, I don't want to have that conversation. It's uncomfortable. It's scary. But once you have that conversation, once you say, you know what, for the last 6 months, we've been dealing with these little bitty things, not little bitty things, but a little bit at a time. And now I feel better because I've been proactive and not reactive. And trust me, I've had the conversations hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times about, I wish I would have done it sooner. I regret not doing it sooner. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And you're going to feel better that you've got things in place. I tell people all the time, when you have the things in place, chances are you won't need them. Like I said, God has a sense of humor, and we'll be like, aha, you've been thinking about it. You've been thinking about it. You've been thinking about it. You haven't done it. You haven't done it. You haven't done it. Pow. We get a little nudge. We get a little tap. Then we get a nudge. Then we get a push. Then we get a shove. And then we get a smack. Who knows? Today maybe is the smack that our 47th president, whatever the fuck he is, that's going to create a domino effect that will be forever. And it's my intention that if this is my last podcast, that I go out with integrity, honesty, and love. I don't believe it will be, but fuck, you just don't know. You just don't know the craziness of life. Have the conversations before it happens. Like, what's the shared responsibility? Get your other family members involved. Oh, you got cousins and stuff like that. Okay, what happens? What happens if all of a sudden, if there's 20 people in your family and 14 of them all lose their job to artificial intelligence? Is there a way that you can combine forces? Could you possibly sell 2 houses and buy a piece of land and put some trailers on it, or whatever, RV vehicles or tents, whatever it is, to take care of people? Something tells me we're going to go back to basics. I hope not. I pray not. My vision to share this with you guys, my vision is that this day and that tweet is the thing that wakes people the fuck up to start being more grateful and less hateful, take more responsibility in who they vote for and who they elect, and using their voice and their actions to make their communities a better place. And that we look back on this moment in time and go, Jesus Christ, we were fucking driving towards the edge with no brakes. And then we hit a rock and it stopped us. And I'll tell you something. The reason why I share that example is one night, raising my hand, not proud of it, get chills on my arm all the time I think about it. I was driving home drunk, my 30s, I think. Driving home drunk, and there was traffic on the freeway. It was really late. It was probably like 11 or 12 o'clock at night. I needed to be back up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was hurrying and I was rushing, and I decided my traffic thing, my Waze, whatever the fuck it was, told me to get off the street. And I said, oh, I know this route home. I'll take the side streets. And I forgot there was a sharp left turn, and it was raining, and my lights on my older car weren't that great. And I'm like, where is that turn? Where is that turn? And I missed the thing that said, there comes the turn. And my truck nearly, fortunately, I had 32-inch tires. It was a curb that was probably about that big. And fortunately, by that time, I had slowed down enough. I didn't slam on the brakes because I knew if I slammed on the brakes, I'd go skidding. And the curb caught my back tires. I don't even want to tell you. It wasn't like it was 17 miles down. It was probably a good couple of 100 feet. I was in an 89 Ford Bronco. I don't even want to think what could have happened to me that day. Didn't have a roll cage. I could have died, could have been paralyzed, whatever. But that curb caught me. And sometimes curbs are in your life and they catch you, and then you still take things for granted. I stopped drinking and driving. And then 3 years ago, I stopped drinking pretty much. Number 8, mental and emotional burnout. I think what I've been talking about for the last 38 minutes is pretty evident. Loss of purpose, depression, identity crisis. And maybe it's not going to be you. But like I was telling my coaching clients last night, we do a group coaching program. If you're ever interested, let me know. It's totally affordable and it's fucking life-changing. AI, not only the loss of jobs. Okay. You know, what if we get universal basic income? Okay. So many people, when you talk to somebody, what's the usual first question you ask? I don't ask it, but what do you do? I'm a doctor. I'm a lawyer. I'm an engineer. I'm an accountant. I'm a manager. I'm a plumber. I'm this. You ask somebody, who are you? They say the same thing. Like loss of purpose, loss of identity. When I got invited to leave my job in 2019, I'd been there for 26 years. Yay, I finally get to do my coaching and my speaking and write my book and do all that stuff. I went through a depression for the next 6 months. I didn't realize how much my identity, how many of my friendships, my relationships were wrapped up in that position. Who am I now? I'm not that person anymore. I've coached people. I was a CEO, I was a CFO, I was whatever it is. You're not that person anymore. Now you're just Bob. You're just Bob. What do I do now? People talk about universal basic. Oh, I wish I was retired. Trust me, when that happened to me, I was surprised myself at what I went through. So it may not happen to you, but you, my friend, listening to this, can be that strong person. Say, you know what? I remember listening to a fucking podcast with Christopher Rausch, the No Excuses coach. And I remember him talking about this. And you know what? I'm strong and I can be here for you. And I can refer you to a couple of episodes that he's done. I can be here for you. Let's have a weekly check-in. Let's check in every 3 days. This one sneaks up like the what's going to go on with AI and artificial intelligence unless we all fucking wake up and start fucking doing something about it. There's a new documentary coming out called the AI Doc. It was by the same people that did the Social Dilemma, which is about social media. It was a great interview. I just posted on my social media. It was the Chris Williamson podcast, Modern Wisdom. Go check it out. Something about creating an AI god. It's frightening. If today it wasn't frightening, that was frightening before, but now it's all just fucking frightening. So what are your daily mental hygiene habits? Like for me, I listen to music, I work out, I do deep breathing, I meditate, I listen to binaural beats. I play video games now. I do sim racing. Fucking can't think about anything else when you got a steering wheel in your hand, you fucking rally racing or having a video game. So I have ways to escape. I have healthy ways to enjoy myself. Go for walks. I go for a walk every single day, plus go to the gym. I go into the sauna now and I sweat my brains out for 14 minutes. I don't like it, but I do it because you know what? Every little thing, every little action supports my positive mental health. Do I have horrible days? 100%. Honest self-checks, like being honest with yourself. Am I happy? Am I happy in my relationship? Am I happy with what I'm doing? Am I happy with my weight? Again, seeing people talk about, oh, the shot, you know, fucking fat and lazy, da, da, da. My own personal wife has lost 150 pounds. She was nearly over 300 pounds. I was scared to death that a chair was going to break from under her. I was scared to death she wasn't going to be able to get on an airplane. And I told her, I said, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. I said, you know, the thing you have to do, she's going to get gastric bypass. And I said, the shit you have to do in order to prepare for that, if you just did that alone, you would change your life. But the shot, the Wegovy, I firmly believe in it. If she quit taking it, I'm fearful, but man, it's fucking been a game changer. She's so happy and she's so strong and she's so beautiful and she will be here for our son. Right? Take the don't fucking care what anybody else says. Fucking do it for yourself, guys. Number 9, legal identity issues. How many times I've fucking seen people go through identity theft? My wife, speaking of which, has gone through it 3 times. I've had it a couple of times. Lawsuits. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Shit. Like one oversight can cause years of stress. Like make sure you secure your personal information. Make sure your legal documents are in a fireproof safe. Do it. Put your registration, put your car, your pink slips, all that stuff in there. Again, people have regretted, oh man, I meant to do it. I'm like, how is meaning to do it helping you now? How is meaning to do it helping you now? And here's one that's kind of tied to what I talked about earlier, but it's number 10, the loss of direction. It's called the quiet drift. Waking up one day feeling lost. Success without fulfillment. Let's talk about that one for a minute. I have met rock stars, literal rock stars, actors and actresses, millionaires. I don't think I've met a billionaire yet. Coached a billionaire. I mean, I've coached these people. Oh yeah. We play the someday game or the one day game. One day when I have the right relationship. One day when I look pretty. One day when I fit into the size 32. One day when I have the money. One day when I have the house. One day when I have the car. Then I'll be happy. Or they reach that situation. Jim Carrey talks about it. Because I wish everybody could achieve the massive success and massive money and realize that it's not the thing that's going to help them. Sure, it does solve some of your problems some of the time, but it also creates a lot of fucking problems. I just watched the Nick Carter. It's called Being Carters or something like that. Nick Carter, Aaron Carter, the Backstreet Boy dude. Didn't have any desire to watch the documentary. So glad that I did. Like this kid, I think it was Aaron. Yeah, Aaron. Like was the bubbliest, funnest, happiest kid in the world. But then he started being compared to his brother Nick in the Backstreet Boys. And if you know anything about the story, you know he started getting face tattoos and stuff. Oh, that fucker's crazy. Yeah. Money and fame. He talked about it. He goes, I wish I didn't have any of that. But yeah, we think it's going to solve all of our problems. Just living in the moment. Most likely, There's a ton of people around the world that would switch places with you in a fucking second. I think about that all the time. I have a very blessed life. I don't want for anything anymore. I used to want all these houses and all these cars and da 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 da. I would be fucking thrilled to death to keep everything that I have for the rest of my life. Can I go on a vacation every 5 years? Yeah. Can we have a good Christmas? Can we have a good birthday? Can we go out to the movies every once in a while? Buy a dinner for some people? And what you really need to do out of this conversation is check with your values. Like, I teach people to do this values exercise. Like, identify where your top five values are. Look at what you're tolerating in your life from yourself, from other people, and from inanimate objects. Do a life audit every once in a while. Sit down and say, like, am I happy with the person I'm being? Am I happy the promises that I'm keeping to myself? Oftentimes we don't keep the promises to ourselves. I made a promise to my editor that I was going to get my life story book to him by the end of March. I didn't. Guess how I feel about myself? I beat myself up quite a bit about it. And I said, you know what? Now I have a new goal. May 10th, 1982 is the day I became homeless. And this book, It's Just You and Me, Kid, is all about that. So if you're interested in that, I don't do commercials or anything else, but it's justyouandmekid.com. It's part of my website. You can get in there. You can put your name and your email address and find out about it. It is coming out later this year. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. I've been writing that thing since 2020. That has been the hardest activity that I have done, bar none, in my life. And I've done a lot of hard things. So yeah. So what do I want you to do? What am I asking you to do? Here's the deal. From this conversation, I want you to look at 3 situations that would impact you the most. The death of my spouse, injuring myself, am I the sole breadwinner, the loss of my job, a fire, whatever it might be. Pick 3 things out of your life and then ask yourself, what would happen if it happened tomorrow? Like, what would happen? And then ask yourself, what's currently not in place? Like, I don't have an advanced medical directive. I don't have a will. I would feel, out of all the things I would regret dying, I'd be like, Jesus Christ, I'm going to be dead here in a minute. And there's no living will. There's no trust. So now she's going to have to figure out, is she going to figure it out? Yeah. That happens. But I would love to be able to say, I have a will. I have a letter to her and a letter to my son, that I have a document that says, here's the things that I have, and here's the things that you can do with it. And then the last thing is to sit there and say, what's the one action you'll take this week? And most likely it's a conversation with someone, conversation with your mom. What, you live by yourself now. If you have an accident, like I know my ex-wife, I just went and saw my ex-mother-in-law. She's still I call her mom. She has Alexas all over her house. I'm like, oh, you're into technology? She goes, no, Tammy put them here in case I fall, that anywhere in the room I can say, call Tammy. Like, what's one thing you could do? Like, if somebody falls, breaks their hip, and I've seen it happen, fucking couldn't get to the phone. How long were you there? A few hours. I can tell you this story. A buddy of a buddy was drunk, tripped over his daughter's wooden play desk. The desk broke. The piece of wood severed his spinal cord, rendered him paralyzed from the neck down, and he could barely scream. Nobody could hear him. And it wasn't until somebody did a welfare check on him, and actually a gardener it's a true story. Gardener put a ladder up to a second-story apartment, looked inside and saw him laying there, paralyzed from the neck down. Think his life changed? Yeah. So again, the 3 situations that would impact you the most: what would happen if it occurred tomorrow? What's currently not in place? And what's the one action you'll take this week? We've been going now for 49 minutes and 22 seconds, guys. After this, I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to go see my kid's science experiments, what he's done at school. And then I'm going to go to the concert tonight and have a shared experience with 20,000 people. I don't know how many people, but somewhere on that. And I'm going to pray to God, Allah, everybody, that we wake up tomorrow. And there's no guarantee that any of us wake up any single day. So again, like I said at the beginning, cherish your moments. Tell the people in your life that you love them, and tell them not only that you love them, what you love about them. My son says, I love you more. I love you more. I'm like, what do you love about me? And he has to think about it, because I caught him off guard. He's all, I love that you listen to me. I love that you're funny. I love that you make time for me. Like, ask people, like, you know what I love, or tell people, like, you know what I love about you? I love your sense of humor. You know what I love about you? You care about strangers. You know what I love about you? You do things out of the ordinary. You know what I love about you? That you never complain. Can you imagine if everybody in the world, it would be my biggest dream ever, and not from an ego standpoint, nothing. It would be my dream that everybody in the world could hear this particular episode, and that everybody did one nice thing for a stranger, that everybody did one nice thing for themselves, and that every single day we really started taking great care and gratitude for this world and this life. And then we woke up in the morning with gratitude and set the intention. And then if something bad happened, we didn't say, oh my God, my life sucks, or it's a terrible day. That we sit there and say, you know what am I supposed to learn from this? And if you're new to the show, highly encourage you to go back and listen to, especially the last year. I've done so many vulnerable episodes and conversations like this about different aspects of life. That's my intention. That's my legacy. And oh, by the way, I forgot to show you my shirt. For those of you guys listening, it says fuck Trump. I never wear it. It's a Deadpool shirt. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So what are you going to do? You're going to get off this call and feel all inspired and be like, man, that was great. That was heavy. Fuck, I have a lot to think about. Or are you going to get up and go hug people in your life? Call somebody right now. Call somebody. Text somebody. Preferably call them and say, you know what? I haven't talked to you in a while. Make a list, like 3 people you haven't talked to in a while that you really care about. Oh yeah, I'm meaning to do that. I got to reach out to that person. I got to reach out to that person. Yeah. And then all of a sudden they tell me a week later, hey, I reached out to them. I found out they've been dead for 2 years. Right? So there you have it. Please, if this episode of this conversation of what I've shared from my heart impacts you, please share it. Call somebody, tell them you need to hear this. Social media is one thing, but calling somebody and saying, hey man, this was powerful shit. Tell your family, hey, you know what? We need to watch this. We need to listen to this. And again, it's not for ego or any other reasons. I don't have any sponsors. I don't have any commercials. I barely talk about what it is that I do. It's the legacy that I get to leave. So that God forbid something happens and I go to the great fucking rock and roll concert in the sky, I know that I lived and made a difference with my life, that I wasn't a complainer, that I wasn't a neener person, whatever it might be, that I was a big lover of humanity. And people know that about me. So I may have talked about Trump tonight in a very not kind way, but I mean, given the fact of what he said and what it's about, I still love you. Okay? That's the truth. Raw and unscripted, Christopher Rausch, ChristopherRausch.com, noexcusescoach.com, raw and unscripted.com. It all leads to the same place. Go check it out. Check out the podcast, share it out. The YouTube is super important for me right now. Please go watch YouTube videos. I do shorts, I do longs. Go there, watch it, because the more you watch it, the more it gets into people's feeds, the more people reach out to me and say, hey man, that was really good stuff. I haven't heard anybody talk about personal development, personal growth, motivation like you do. It's refreshing. I even get people when I start my TikTok videos or my YouTube videos and I say, hey fuckers. I've had a few people like, you don't need to say that. But I've had a lot of people like, I love how you start your videos. I love you guys.